Hello everyone, welcome to DTR Season 4, Round 1, and we're with Division 5 today. We're about to start qualifying, as you can see, in Australia, and we've got a McLaren that's going out early, so I believe it's Jordan. He's been beaten to the start though, so let's just get the camera set up. So I think we've got Wardy. Is it Wardy? Or was it Jens? So Jens will more than likely start the first flying lap, so we'll stick with him. But just to talk a little bit about the season, just while the drivers make their way around the track. So to talk a little bit about the calendar. So we're here in Australia for round 1. Next week we'll be in Spain, followed by the new track, USA, which is in Miami. And we are running sprint races again this year, so our 4th round will be in Austria, and that will be a sprint race. We go to Italy and Monza for round 5, and then just before the mid-season break we go to Azerbaijan in round 6, and then we follow that with a sprint race in Great Britain. We go off to Belgium, Singapore and Japan, followed by around 11 at Abu Dhabi, which is another sprint race, and we end the season with Brazil. So that's our season summed up. Jens is making his way round to put his first qualifying lap on, and we will jump on board with him and we'll talk you through the lap. So, long pit straight, coming into turn 1. Need to try and carry as much speed through here as you can. Good job from Jens there. Take as much curb on the exit of turn 1. DRS zone opens up down here, and you come into turn 3. Have to be careful on traction out of here, and Jens does very well. Round T4, round turn 5. Again, have to be careful on exit. You can lose the rear down there at times, but this is the new area of the track now. Again, you need to carry a lot of speed through this section, because you're going to carry the speed the whole way down this straight. And then we're coming up to the fast chicane now, where you really want to try and take as much curb on the left-hand side as you possibly can, and straighten up over this curb. Good line from Jens, and this then turns into another DRS straight where people will look to make some moves down. And again, new area of the track, new corner here. Good exit into another fast right-hander before we come into the very tricky last 2 corners of the lap. It's really hard to get traction around this last corner. But Jens looks like he's done a very good job there, and will post a very reasonable time to start the day. So he's in at a 1:18.5. So as the track starts to bed in, we will see these times start to get beaten. Let's try and join the McLaren who's coming over the line, Jordan, and he jumps into second with a 1:19. Wardy's also set a 1:19, and looks like we had a car in the wall there. Looked like an Alpha Tauri, I think. But Wardy is off his hot lap, and it is an Alpha Tauri. It's Big Cam. I'm pretty sure he's a reserve for this league. So it'll be interesting to keep an eye on him. And really, it looks like is he starting his fast lap? No, he's just put one in. He was in a 1:21. So who's coming round now? We've got an Alpha. Looks like he's invalidated his lap, Wardy. Let's try and jump on with one of the Mercedes. Coming into the last section now, Brandon. Brandon is tipped to be the fastest guy in the league here, so it'll be interesting to see where he can put his Mercedes. And he puts it in 4th with an 18.9. So looks like Ryan has put in a 1:18.8, which has put him into 2nd. Dopey Man with an 18.9 has put himself into 3rd. Let's just try and pick out who is on a hot lap. Jordan looks like he's invalidated. And Wardy is invalidated, we saw him earlier. Let's join Skipper, I believe he's starting his hot lap. Also a reserve in this league, I believe, but he has come off the gas, so I'm assuming he is out on a warm-up lap. We've got Cav coming around the last section. Posts his first lap time of the day. Good exit. And he puts himself in 7th with a 120. So, good start from all of the drivers. They'll be eager to put a time on the board. Hims looks like he is out of qualifying. Not sure what happened. Didn't see that happen. But let's just see if we can get the split times up. There we go. Okay, so let's try and find someone on a fast lap. Let's join Reap, who's coming around the final corner now. This looks like a 137, so let's stick with him and see if he carries on a hot lap now. Have his DRS open down this straight. Try to slow the car down into turn 3 and get a good exit. Just be cautious into turn 4. Ran a little bit wide there, but has maintained the speed. Carries good speed round into this section. It is so important with the straight. I think there'll be a mixture of strategies today with people trying to run low downforce to try and get that straight line speed. But we did see last night in Division 4 that unfortunately Reap has just invalidated his lap on that sector of the course. So let's jump on board with Skipper and see how he does. He's just coming into the fast section in the back straight, so again carries good speed. Coming through the new layout. So yeah, we'll have different strategies here. Some people will run low downforce and try to be quick in a straight line, and we'll also have some high downforce. I suppose there's pros and cons to both, really. If you have high downforce, you will be quicker through the corners. It is that much harder though to recoup your ERS throughout the race. And ERS on this game is so important. It's very powerful, and if you can recharge your battery, it will give you such a competitive edge in the race. So really need to be thinking strategy in how you manage your ERS. But Skipper's coming around the last corner. He's been pretty tidy up to here. So let's see what time he can post. He comes over the line with a 120, so good lap from him. And let's try and jump on board with Nellboy. Looks like he's on a hot lap. Again, just coming out of Sector 1, joining Sector 2 now. Yeah, and a good exit there from him. Carries a lot of speed onto the straight, as we've mentioned. He's keeping a nice tight line, trying to make this track as short as possible. So just him and Guncher that haven't set a lap time yet. Yeah, well taken the chicane and cut that last corner very well to carry as much speed down this straight as possible. Gets the car slowed down. Good on the exit. Coming into these last tricky 2 corners. Got to be careful on the power out of here. Handles it well. Good exit. We'll open his DRS now and drag to the line. See what he can put on the board. 119.2. So good lap from him. Takes him up into 6th place. I think Jens is out of the pits, so let's jump on board. He is on a hot lap. So let's see if he can improve on his 18.5. Kept it nice and tight to the apex there. A bit of front wing coming off there, I think, from the car ahead of him. And Ryan puts it on pole with an 18.4. So Jens with a little bit of work to do here then. Looks like he's been tidy so far. Let's see how he handles the chicane. Yeah, cuts the chicane nicely. Oh, and just runs wide, and it's that's going to be the end of his hot lap. Let's join Brandon, see if he can improve on the 18.9. He's got half a second to make up on the leader. And again, we'll talk through this field as we break for the race. But again, as I said earlier, he's tipped to be the favourite to win the league. So we'll see if he's got the 1 lap pace to put it on pole here. Again, he's minimising the track, keeping it tight to the inside line. Let's see if he cuts as much of the chicane as possible. He does. Tidy through there. Will open his DRS now and drag his way down into sector 3. And it looks like Tom Putty is out of qualifying. I'm not sure what's happened to him, but he is out, so his 124 will not be improved. So, all about his exit now. He's been pretty tidy, but he's coming in, he's invalidated. Unfortunate for Brandon. He will go in, put some new tyres and come back out. But just joined Dopey Man. Looks like he's on a hot lap. He's pushing hard. Good exit required here, and he gets one. Pushing it to the limits. Can he improve on his time? He did improve on his time by 1/10.5. Puts him up into 3rd, so we'll be happy with that. Quite a few people gone into the pit now, but let's jump on with Lil Mikey. One of the Constructors' Champions last year, I believe. I think it was fair to say that he was seen as a bit of a number 2 driver last year, and I think he's going to be looking to prove himself in this Ferrari. Good speed carried again through there, and will carry it down this straight. Let's see how much of the chicane he wants to take. As Reap now puts in the fastest lap of the race. Or qualifying, sorry, with an 18.1. So 3/10 up on Ryan. So it's going to be an interesting battle for pole. Jens in pre-season, I believe, really ran away with the race. So he's going to want to come out and try and improve on that time. Good exit from Mikey, and it's just a drag down to the line now. It's looking like this is going to be a reasonably good time. And it's a 19.5, puts him in the top 10. If he gets round quick enough, he will have another run at it. So let's join, who have we not been on board with? I don't think we've seen much of Jordan. He's 2 seconds up on his time, he's invalidated. So let's just see if he goes round again. He might opt to come in and put some fresh tyres on. Yeah, he does. Okay, so let's jump on board with Wardy then. I don't think we've seen his lap. Again, carrying some good speed. Wardy last season was a very quick driver. I think he's switched over to the wheel, and he's now getting used to life on a wheel. And you know, looking at some of these lines he's taking through here, it looks like he's definitely getting to grips with it. Making the track as short as possible there, even using the grass. Again, cuts a nice chunk of the chicane. Good exit, DRS is open. Might even get dragged along by the car in front. Looks like an Aston in front. No, it's an Alpine. So crucial, this last section of the course. Carries nice speed through there. Jens has put it on pole with an 18.1. Can Wardy push? Can he get into the 17s? Not quite. And he does improve by 2/10, puts himself up into 7th. May have time to go again. We'll see. Let's join Brandon. He is at nearly 2/10 up on his time. So he could look to leapfrog Dopey Man, but a good last sector. Might just get into 3rd, but it's an uphill battle from here. But let's see if he can take 4th spot. Yeah, gets it slowed down nicely. Good speed into the last corner. A little bit cautious, but you have to be out of there. It's a drag down to the line again. And he does improve by 3/10. Gets himself into 4th. just above Dopey Man now. So let's have a look. Is Nell Boy on a quick lap? I think he might be. Yeah, really good, carrying good speed through that corner. Yeah, cuts the chicane nicely. We'll get a good run into the DRS zone. Got a little bit sideways there, but you can see his DRS is open. Really attacks the curb nicely and will be straight back on the power. He straightened his wheel up nicely. Really key couple of corners again. Handles it nicely. Good traction out of there, and it's just a race to the line again. Can he improve on his time? He does by nearly half a second, and it's put him up to 5th. So great lap from Nell. Well done to you. And Jordan is not on a fast lap at this stage. Let's have a look at Ryan, see if he can improve on his time. Runs a little bit wide there, but still carries enough speed onto the straight. Filtering his way through the traffic. Stayed out the way nicely. Really attacks the chicane. Good exit. Will carry great speed down here. Really took that well. Again, attacks the corner. Good exit. And I think he's just invalidated on that last chicane there, so decides not to go again, so that will be him finished. He will not improve on his time. Let's join Dopey Man, who looks like he's coming around into the last section of the course. He's going to want that 4th place back off Brandon. Gets really good traction out of there. Nice tight line. Drag into the finish, and he does improve, and he does take 4th back. So Brandon and Dopey Man having a bit of a battle for that 4th position. Anyone else? We haven't been on board with Bogorowski, but he is not on a fast lap, so we'll try and join him through the race. Gunscher, I don't think we've been on board with him. Let's just see if he is pushing here. I don't think he is yet. He's off the power. Is there anyone left? So Jordan has invalidated. Yeah, Dopey Man is not improving, so I think this... Oh, Cab... Nope, decides to pit, so he will not complete his lap. Haven't seen Benny yet today, but again, doesn't look like he's on a fast lap, so that looks like the end of qualifying. And we'll run down the order in a second, but very strong field today, and we've got 18 of the regular runners and 2 reserves out there today. Jens, I think it was fair to say in the pre-season opener he ran away with the race, so he's going to look to try and bolt away off the line and really open that DRS gap early on. We've got Reap, who takes 2nd place and really not too far behind. It's 0.003 of a second. Ryan in 3rd in the McLaren, Dopey Man in 4th, Brandon in 5th, both with 18.5s. And then we've got DTR Nell Boy, who had a nice tidy lap with an 18.7. And then the first teammate actually in the top 7, we've got the McLaren of Jordan in 7th, and then Jens's teammate Wardy in 8th with a 119. Barry Bogorowski in the top 10. Good to see him up there. Little Mikey did enough there to stay in 10th, and he was with a 119.5. So that was your top 10. So just to quickly run through that: Jens Hoffer on pole, Reap in 2nd, Ryan in 3rd, Dopey Man 4th, Brandon in 5th, Nellboy 6th, Jordan in the other McLaren in 7th, Wardy in the other Alfa in 8th, Bogarowski in 9th, and Little Mikey in 10th. And then a couple of surprises really. Here's Guncher, who showed very good pace in pre-season, is down in 11th, so he'll be looking to make some good inroads. Skipper, who I believe is reserving for this league, he is in 12th, and you will see his consistency throughout this race. He will keep it on track, and he'll look to pick up places as people make mistakes. So watch out for him as he makes his way through the field. And we'll go through the rest of the grid once the formation lap starts. So be back shortly. So just looking to see if we've had a weather update, because as the screen loads, it looks pretty cloudy out there. Haven't had anything to say that it's going to rain, but we will have a look as the formation lap starts. So just to run down the grid again, so Jens with a very good lap, I believe it's an 18.1, will start on pole. Reap in second just behind him, very similar lap time, so he'll be looking to get the jump off the start. Racing Ryan in third, he showed very good pace in pre-season, so he's going to fight this all the way. Dopey Man in fourth, I think you remember him and Brandon having a scrap in qualifying. Brandon, I think the division's tip to win the league this year, in fifth. Nell Boy with a very solid qualifying lap as well, we were on board with him. He's hitting the apex as well, so he'll be looking to put a challenge in there. And then the second McLaren, Jordan, he's up in 7th, again pre-season, had a brilliant race. Him and his teammate were very close to the podium. I don't think both of them made it, but they will be fighting this season for sure. And Wardy, he's in 8th with a very solid qualifying lap. Didn't see Bog's lap time in qualifying, but he's up in 9th. He'll be very happy with that. And again, he'll be the guy that's just looking to take advantage of mistakes in front of him. So he will be looking to keep it on track. If you do see any defensive moves from him, he knows how to get his elbows out. So approach with caution. Make sure the move is a solid one. Little Mikey, Constructors Champion last year. He's in 10th. Good qualifying from him. Guncher, a bit of a surprise in 11th. I think we will see him making some moves through the field. He's got good pace. Again, he had a great pre-season. Skipper in 12th. Relia in 13th. Could say unlucky for Sun. Had a bit of trouble heating his tyres yesterday when he was reserving in Div 4. So we'll see what he can do today. Cav in 14th. We didn't see a qualifying lap from him, so we'll try and get some action with him as throughout the race. Benny in 15th. He was driver of the day actually in pre-season. Great defensive move, so we'll see if he can keep that up into the season. And then big up Cam, he is a reserve for this league, so be interesting to see how he gets on. And then the two at the back, unfortunately didn't put, or they retired in qualifying, sorry, Tom Putty and Hims. And we know Hims has got some pace, but the lights are going on, so let's join the front of the pack. The camera angles are terrible, so I might join Jens at the front, see how we get on. And he looks like he's got a little bit bogged down. The McLaren behind him has got off to a good start, and he's clipped, and Jens is out immediately. Did get squeezed a little bit there by Ryan. I don't know if he could have done anything else about it, but that is going to be a safety car, I believe. As Wardy looks like he's made up a couple of places but it might have just been given back. So let's have a look at the interval and see the positions changed. Unfortunate for Jens, off the line. It looks like Tom Putty and Reliot have been claimed as part of that accident as well. It is so hard at the start when there's an accident in front of you. You end up becoming a bit of a passenger to it. So disappointing start to the season for those three, and you know, Jens was definitely one of the stronger title contenders, but these guys that are left out here will be looking to take advantage. So let's just run down the field. So Racing Ryan makes up 2 positions off the start. Dopey Man also makes up 2 positions and takes 2nd place. Brandon moves up 2 places into 3rd, and Reap he's actually lost a couple of positions down into 4th. Doesn't need to panic at this stage. He can stay in touch with the leaders, and we'll just be looking to get those positions back. Nellboy, again, he gains a position, I think, from where Jens lost it at the start, unfortunately. And then the rest of the field is pretty much as you were, just all at one place where we've lost Jens from the front. Cav has made some moves. He's up 3 places, so must have flew off the line. We've got Skipper, who's maintained in 12th. Benny up 2 places again because of the casualties. Same for Cam, and then Hims starting at the back. He remains at the back, but has gained 3 positions. That a little bit closer to the points. So that sorts out the grid for now. But whilst we're following this the safety car round, let's just talk a little bit about the people that we've got in this league. So. The Mercedes, Brandon and Jay Hayward. I think it's fair to say that they are going to be title contenders for this year. I think a lot of the division are tipping Brandon to win the league. So you're going to see a lot of pace from him. He will be looking to get off to a flying start. He's got 2 people in front of him currently. And then Jay Hayward, who's unfortunately not here tonight. He'll be looking to back him up and try and claim that Constructors as well. So a very solid pairing in the Mercedes. The McLaren, I think, as you can see from their qualifying, both again a really strong pair. Ryan, from what I've seen of Ryan, very, very consistent. He is definitely a title challenger, and I do believe that he was a Constructors winner last year as well. Along with his partner Jordan. I believe they've been paired for quite a few seasons now. So they know how to get it done, and they sit 1st and 6th here, and I think they are definitely, as it stands, the highest scoring team. Little Mikey and Reliot, so we know we've lost Reliot, unfortunately. Would have liked to see how he gets on. He's just flicked to using a wheel over a controller, so it would have been good to see how he got on tonight, but fortunately became a casualty of that crash. Little Mikey, though, he gained 2 places off the start. He was a Constructors champion. I think it was fair to say last year that these 2 were classed as 2nd drivers, if you like, but their partners both moved on up into a higher division. So these 2 will be fighting out to say who's going to get that number 1 seat. But Little Mikey in the best position currently, still in the race. He's up into 8th and he's looking to score some points today. And Dopey Man and Guncher in the Red Bull. So I've talked a bit about Guncher. He's made a couple of places off the start. He is a quick driver. Dopey Man as well has also shown some pace over the years. I think Dopey Man was actually paired with Brandon last year, but they've decided to go separate ways. So again, another title challenging team there for sure. And then we've got the Aston Martins of Cassell and Benny Buno. Cassell's not here tonight. I think he's been caught up at work, so he'll be leaving his teammate to try and get off to a good point scoring start. I did mention earlier that Benny actually had a very, very good pre-season, and he made some really good defensive moves into the chicane at France specifically. I remember just really parked his car on the apexes really well and made it very difficult for people to make the overtake. So looking forward to seeing a bit more of that tonight. The Williams, so we had Reap, who was up in 2nd place after qualifying. And Hims, I'm sure I've raced him a couple of times. He has definitely got some pace. He really struggled in qualifying. But yeah, again, a team that can have good pace. But looks like the safety car is about to come in, so we'll talk about the rest of the field a bit later. we'll jump on board with Ryan, and then what we'll do is we'll have a look at some of the strategies that are going on today. So I think Bog looks like he pitted under the safety car, and he might try and take his tyres to the end of the race, but again we'll catch up with the strategies in a second. Let's just see where Racing Ryan goes. If I was going to put my money down, he'll go into this next corner. It's hard to get on the power out of this corner, but he has got to consider the long straight down. But he looks like he's caught Dopey Man napping slightly. He's already pulled out a 7/10 gap, so he's got off to a really good start. Dopey Man maintains his second position. Brandon is right on his tail, 3/10 back. Reap just getting a little bit detached, and there has actually been an overtake there just into turn 2. So Reap has been overtaken by Nellboy, so good move from him. Again, he will now need to try and keep it close and gain that position back down the straight. Wardy looks like he's closing in on Jordan, so let's just jump on board with him and see if he can again get a good exit out of turn 5, I think it is, but he just runs a bit deep. May get a warning for track limits there, because he did cross the yellow line, but that's cost him dearly. Guncher looks like he's making a bit of a move on Mikey. I dare say that these two will probably wait, because it's a dangerous move down into this corner, and you can see Mikey backs out of the move. Sensible from him, but Guncher's got a good run on Mikey here, and he's going to get down the inside ready into the next corner, so that's going to be done early. But Mikey does try and fight it around the outside, but the inside line really paid off dividends there. So good move from Guncher. Did say that we will see him moving up the grid. So good start from the safety car from him. So let's just talk about strategy. Oh, as Guncher spins, but there's who was that? And the Haas Cav has done a great job of avoiding that. Brilliant job from Cav. And it's caused a little bit of fighting up front. And Benny's lost 2 positions and has spun it at turn 1. Really unfortunate for him. And Bogorowski takes advantage of it after he pitted under the safety car. Big Cam is making a move on Cav, who looks like he's just tapped the wall there. Let's jump on board. He's got Cam on his outside. I think the inside line will just about keep him there. But that spin has really caused the pack to bunch up a little bit down the field, and it's caused a bit of a mess, to be honest. But the drivers have done well to avoid the accident. Everyone seems to be chasing down everyone at the minute. Let's stay with him as he's making his way up the field. Retired in qualifying, but he's a 10th back. I think he'd be sensible to hold off into this chicane and try and get the better exit here, and he will get a help in a DRS. Not sure if DRS is opened yet, so he will have to do it with his ERS. He's not quite got the straight line speed, so he will hold on just for a little bit longer. We'll stay on board with him into the pit straight. We've got Bogorowski, who's also looking to make a bit of a move in 13th, so he'll be looking to see what happens with this battle. He might be able to take advantage of any mistakes that happen. And just got a little bit out of shape out of that last corner, and I don't think he's going to make it into turn 1, but we'll have another chance down the second straight and get some really good exit, but he has to get out the power. I think he had enough speed carried over, and he's made that move quite easily and before the corner. So good drive out of that first corner, and Cam will now have Bogorowski to deal with. So let's jump on board with him. And Cam looks like he's got a bit sideways there. Bog not quite close enough to take advantage of it. And we'll just keep an eye on Nellboy, because he looks like he's closing in on Brandon further up the field. But let's stick with Bog, see if he can make an impression down the straight, because it looks like Cam is running some high downforce. Hims was able to get past him quite easily in the straight. Looks like Bog's giving him a bit of a tap. He will be patient. We'll look for a good exit, and I think Bog actually put the purple sector 2 there, but that tap's just cost him, and he's fallen back. But Big Cam is making a move up front on him, so not sure if he made a bit of a mistake there, because he seems to have come from a long way back. But let's just go back up to the front of the field, because Racing Ryan, leading this race, just puts in a fastest lap of the race. Dopey Man in second. He's going to look to try and get back into that DRS zone. Let's just jump on with Nelboy, actually, because he's all over the back of Brandon. Going round turn 4 now. Be careful on the traction out of there. Does it well. And Hims looks like he's got back in front of Cam as we're on board with Nell. So let's just talk about strategy whilst we stay on board with Nell. So the majority of the field here are on medium tyres. I think there is an opportunity to go medium soft, but you will have to be very good on your tyre wear for the mediums. I think it's a bit of an ask to get all the way into soft territory. And Wardy's DNF, sorry, as we're talking, Wardy's DNF. See him on the right hand side of that straight there. See him on the right hand side, he's lost it out of the chicane and it has caused a safety car. Let's see if Ryan decides to come in. He doesn't. Dopey Man does the opposite. He will come in and I'm going to assume he's going to go on the hards and try and go to the end of the race. I wonder if Ryan just saw the safety car a little bit late because everyone else behind him has jumped in the pits. Mikey is coming in, Skipper's coming in, Cav is also coming in. I think this is the right call, but Brandon has decided to go on the softs. That should be the alternate strategy in comparison to everyone else that pits. So my assumption is he's going to want to have a quick restart. He's going to want to have a quick restart. He's going to need to get on with it. He's going to want to overtake people quickly. But I think everyone's taken the opportunity here to come in for hards, run to the end of the race. And I think Brandon has gambled there. I think he knows that everyone has come in for hard tyres. So he's 2 compounds softer. He will be a lot quicker, and we've already said we know he's got the pace. So he's going to look to try and hit the front. He might benefit from a late safety car because then he'll be able to come in. He won't get those softs to the end. Another 21 laps. I think those softs will have fallen off a cliff by then. I suppose the one person in this field this has not worked out for is Racing Ryan. He is going to get caught by the pack. He's going to get caught by the pack. He's not going to have the opportunity to pit. So if he comes in now, he's going to end up quite a long way down the field. And in fact, probably even in last at this stage. So my assumption is he will want to stay out. He will try and push those mediums a bit further. And if he can get a safety car later in the race, that'll be when him and Benny decide to come in and ditch those tyres and get back out. But he's going to have a mountain to climb here. And it's unfortunate because he was controlling the race up to this point. Is he going to pit? No, I think it's the right decision. I think he does have to stay out now the field is bunched up. He will be on the quicker tyres. It's not like they're going to have fallen off a cliff at this point, but probably another 10 laps at best out of those, I think. So probably a good opportunity here just to recap the rest of the field. So who are the big movers here? So him. We know he hasn't pitted by the look of it. He started at the back of the field after a troubling qualifying session, so big gain for him. Dopey Man, he maintains his position. I think he was in second just before the safety car, so Hims has jumped him. Big Cam is a big mover. Again, he opted not to pit. We know Bog decided to pit lap 1, so he has changed his tyres. He can try and run these to the end. The safety car will be helping that strategy because it will help him maintain that tyre life a little bit longer. So let's see if he can carry that on. And then everyone behind here then pitted under the safety car. They've ditched their mediums. They'll be looking to run to the end. So a couple of people to watch then is definitely Bogorovsky. He is not easy to overtake. And if I'm honest, I'm rooting for him. I think he can. I think he can win this. Dopey Man is going to have the pace advantage, I think. But you never know. Mistakes might happen. And if there's one person that can take advantage of a mistake, it's Mr. Bogorovsky. So let's see how he gets on. But the big mover off the line is going to be Brandon. So we need to watch him. I think the safety car is coming in this lap. I didn't see the notification, but he has gone off into the distance. So let's jump on board with Ryan. He went into the last corner. Let's see if he mixes it up. I don't think he needs to. He's got a different opponent behind him now. So let's see where he decides to go. Safety car's still out, so he's not going to go yet. Okay, and again, my money will be on him going at this point. Looks like he might have got a little bit out of shape, but he's got away with it. Let's jump on board with him because he's taking a drag down to him. He's not quite going to catch him, so let's look further back down the field. Let's jump on board with Brandon. He's making some inroads on those soft tyres. He's after Bogorovsky already. See what I mean about Bog's defensive moves there. I'm not sure he'll fight this too hard if he does get side by side. He knows Brandon's quick. He knows he's on the softer tyre. There's no point in ruining his race. Bog knows he doesn't have to pit again. And therefore he can let him go and hope to jump him back in the pits a bit later. So Brandon making early moves. Just what he needs to do. He needs to get to the front of this pack. He needs to open up a nice little cushion. Nellboy is going for Bog down the straight. And he does make the move. I think that's his teammate. I think that's Bog's teammate. So again, not going to put too much of a fight. He's going to let his teammate go. And he's got Jordan for company now as well. And Brandon looks like he's making a move around the outside of Cam. Gives him a little bit of a tap, but it hasn't hampered him. But the Alpine is also looking like he's going to get through on Cam. And it's... I'm not sure what's happened, but he's collected a McLaren of Jordan as well. I think Nellboy was making a move. Making a move on Cam, and I'm not sure if he squeezed him. I'm sure we'll see an angle of that later, but let's show him back at the front. Dopey Man, 3/10 behind. Did say to you earlier about Bogorovsky capitalising on mistakes. He gave up a couple of positions, he's gained them back. Dopey Man runs a little bit wide there. Drops back slightly. So let's have a look at Brandon, who's now putting the pressure on. I think that mistake has cost Dopey Man a little bit here, and Brandon will get good drive out of this corner. And for all his pushing, it looks like he's picked up a penalty. So as you see throughout this race, there will be some more penalties coming, but they will become costly. He's going to need some of the guys running at the front now to pick up some penalties to try and even that out. He's going to want to be pushing hard. Bogorovsky gets past Cam into the chicane. It's a big move. And has Cam spun? He's spun. Not sure if that was anything to do with the move from Bogorovsky. But Bogorovsky makes the move. He hung it around the outside of the chicane. Got the move done. And I'm sure we'll hear from Cam after the race on the incident. So let's stick on with Brandon. Dopey Man's closed up. So could be 3 cars wide. DRS is enabled. They're not going to have the benefit of it down this straight, and I don't think it will be down the next straight either. So it's all about pace at the moment, and who's got the DRS? Brandon with a great exit. Decides to go around the outside, later under braking. He's going to try and hang it around the outside. He's now going to get the inside line, so good move. Yeah, he knew that the track position was going to come to him around the outside there. So he is making moves. Looks like Benny Buno's lost a couple of places as we're watching this battle. Let's jump down to him now and see if we can see what happened. Looks like he may have had a spin. Let's go back to the front though. Dopey Man just been overtaken by Brandon. He'll want to try and cling on to the rear wing. Try and keep that DRS and try and open this gap to Bogorovsky as much as possible. And we've got Little Mikey now hunting down Bogorovsky, 7/10 behind. And if Little Mikey can get up there, this will be an interesting battle to watch. But let's jump back on with the leaders because it is a little bit tighter. We'll go on with Dopey Man because we'll be able to see what Brandon does with Hims. He's all over his rear wing, and I dare say he's going to get a good exit out of this corner. Oh, and Hims has lost it, and it's hampered Brandon. He's actually helped Hims there get back on the track. Bogorovsky, again, mopping up from those mistakes. Little Mikey's jumped through as well. So Hims, little bit of a mistake into that final corner. It did hamper Brandon. Dopey Man managed to take advantage of it and get that second place back. And that's really going to hurt Brandon's strategy here because he needed to pull that gap out as far as possible. And Cab looks like he's got past Hims as well. Him's trying to fight it back. Can't do anything about it. Hims has got Skipper now for company as well. So I think Hims is really struggling. I'm assuming that he must have some wing damage, as Jordan puts in the fastest lap of the race with a 22.1. I can only imagine. Let's see if we can jump on with him and... is that end plate? Is that end plate missing? No, it looks okay. So maybe just a tyre problem for him. But Brandon, he's been overtaken by Bogorovsky, I think. So not sure if he's made a mistake. Could be that those soft tyres are starting to degrade a little bit, but looks like he's getting back on the bumper of Bogorovsky. So let's see what the exit's like out of this corner. No, Brandon is coming in. I wonder if he managed to pick up some wing damage from that incident with him. So little Mikey will take advantage. There will be a few runners that are going to come through Brandon now. So I'm assuming that he will now swap to the hards. He could go mediums. No, he has put the hards on. So he's going to have to run to the end of the race, and he's going to have to make some moves to try and make that happen. So I think damage limitation for Brandon from here on in, and Bogorovsky has been overtaken by little Mikey. Looks like Bogorovsky might just not have got the best of exits out of that corner. Couldn't have been team orders, could it? They're not on the same team, but it looked a little easy for Mikey. Skipper, our reserve driver, 4 tenths back from Hims. Looks like Hims has started to pick up his pace after his incident in the final corner. So let's see if Skipper can make some inroads. Good exit from him. Runs a little bit wide, but carries the speed nicely. And who haven't we seen yet tonight? We haven't seen too much of Benny. He's 1.5 seconds behind Cam. He's currently in the last point scoring position, so he'll just want to put a little buffer in there. He knows he's got Jordan behind him as Cav overtakes Bogorovsky. And looks like Cav got a little nudge from Bog there and picked up a penalty. I'm sure he will have a conversation with the stewards about that, as Skipper now runs down the outside of Hims, gets the job done. Good move from Skipper. So our Division 6 reserve is flying up the field. So good work from Skipper. He is definitely a solid driver. You will see him. Incident free. Knows how to keep it in a straight line. But Benny, we joined him just before those couple of incidents. He has shortened the gap here to Cam. So let's see if he can make some inroads down the back straight. Gets a better exit, and I think I might have seen Cam's Urs flash for a second there. So Benny will definitely want to keep an eye on that as he makes his way down towards the pit straight. So important, this last section. We've seen a couple of people spin there tonight already. And Benny's careful on the throttle, but he's definitely got a better drive than Cam. DRS is now open. It's going to give him a boost. And Raoul Jordan, he's DNF'd. And that's round into the last section. But great move from Benny into turn 1 on Cam. He's going to want to get down the road now. He wants to put the buffer in between him and Brandon, who's going to look to try and bridge that gap at the back. Unfortunately, we lost Jordan there. Not sure what happened. Nellboy is closing in on Brandon for the battle at the back of the field. This is the closest battle on track at the moment, so we'll stick with these guys. Ryan has run those mediums now for 15 laps. He is going to have to start thinking about coming in at some point. But I think he will probably continue until he gets a safety car. I think he's going to have to go medium soft. He's managed to bridge an 8-second gap out to Dopey Man. It's about 15 seconds to Little Mikey, so if he was to pit now, he's going to come out somewhere in the midfield, and he has pitted actually, so we're about to find out where he's going to come out. And he's put the hard tyre on, didn't want to risk the softs falling off at the end, and he's coming out, I believe, in 3rd place. And has he had an incident with Cav on the way out there? Because he was out of that pit lane in 3rd. And you can see that he has had a spin. So unfortunate for him, he was well out in the front. He's controlled this race. He was really unfortunate with the first safety car. Yeah. Maybe we'll get his version of events a bit later on. But Bog is now all over Cav. You can see Cav's ERS is flashing, so that will be music to Bogorovsky's ears. And it'd be good to see him on a podium tonight. See if he can do it. He's got the speed. We've seen him do an overtake down here tonight, but Cav parks his car well. It's all about a good exit here because Bog will get the DRS. I dare say a little bit far back for this corner. He will save it for the pit straight, I believe. Trying to carry enough speed around this corner to then get a really good exit. It looks like Cav gets a good exit as well. A little bit cautious from Bog, but understandable. There's been some mistakes there today. He'll have the DRS on. Not sure if he's using his ERS, but tries to get a good exit. Just runs it a little bit wide, so he might just have to wait another lap to get that move done. A little bit of patience needed from Bog. I think he pushing hard to try and get the job done. And again, this is the closest battle on track, so we will stick with it. Skipper looks like he's trying to break the second to Bogorovsky, who we're on board with, so he'll be looking to try and join this battle, and he is now within the second, so the DRS will be open for Skipper. But Bogorovsky is making a big move down this straight. It's going to all be about the exit here because he's going to get DRS. He's going to have Skipper behind him as well, so that's going to be his thought process. Great exit. He's going to want to deploy his ERS here as well. Just not quite getting close enough. And you can see Cav's deploying his ERS there as well to try and defend from the DRS. So defensive driving from him. But again, watching that red light will be music to Bog's ears. Let's see about this exit. Looks like Cav has got the better of that exit out of that corner. So some work for Bog to do. Skipper is now right on his tail. You can see Bog has got his DRS wide open as Racing Ryan puts in the fastest lap of the race as he tries to make his way back through the field. He's 2 seconds behind this battle, but Guncher looks like he's making a move, but he spun it at turn 2. I wonder if he was making a move because he was less than a tenth away, but you can see that Benny comes through into 7th, so he's gained another place. Brandon comes up into the points now as well. I think more to do with the DNF for Jordan. And the safety car is out. Why is the safety car out? I think I've missed something here. As Hims gets a 5-second penalty, and he has got front wing damage, so I wonder if something has happened with him to cause the safety car. I can't see any cars stranded, so not sure what I missed there. It's going to be interesting to see who decides now to gamble and pit. I'm going to put my money on Dopey Man not doing that. No, he does. He is going to come in, and I am assuming he will jump onto soft tyres. So let's see who stays out. So Mikey opts not to. Cav doesn't. Bog comes in as well. Skipper decides to come in as well. So it looks like everyone's following suit, but Ryan is the man that's going to gamble. He's only on 2-lap-old hard tyres. He's going to have a lot of work to do with the soft runners behind him. But I think it's worth the gamble. He's got the pace. he's going to have to get his elbows out, I think. I think Benny has opted to do the same thing. He's jumped up into 4th. And as I said to you in the pre-season, he had 3 or 4 blinding defensive moves. So he is not going to be easy to pass. But as you can see, the rest of the field jump in for softs. I think the 2 that have stayed out, I think it was worth the gamble. I do think it was worth the gamble. Ryan was sat in 6th, I believe, at the time. And after the first safety car, really left him in a bit of no man's land. He was the only one that hadn't pitted. And he's trying to take control of this race by coming back out into the lead. He's going to have a lot of people queuing up behind him, trying to get through. So just while we have this break and we sit behind the safety car, I'll just continue with who we have in the field. So got down to the Alfa Romeo team, made up of Jens, Hoffer and Wardy. So Jens dip out in the start of the race off the line. He won the pre-season race. He has a lot of raw pace, and my understanding is he started to turn off some of his traction control assists. I think he might even be running without ABS as well, which is really tough. So hats off to him. He's certainly found some pace and actually quite a lot of consistency since taking those assists off. So he's been working hard with the new game. And it's clearly paying off for him. So it'd be interesting to see where he comes this year. And Wardy, bags of pace. He is out of this race, unfortunately. So Alfa Romeo are not going to score here tonight. But Wardy has got bags of pace. He's switched onto a will, so it will take a little bit of getting used to for him. But again, 2 very worthy contenders. So the Alpha Tauri team, I don't think they're here tonight. So the main drivers are Milko and P20. P20 joined DTR last year as a rookie, and again, I think it's safe to say he had a fair few incidents. But if he can work on that and keeping the car between the white lines or the yellow lines in Australia, he will do well. He will be in. He will look to get some points finishes. And Milko, again, I believe he has some pace, and we'll see what his consistency is like as we go through the season. Now the Alpine boys. So Nell boy, very good qualifying here. No, he's got bundles of pace. So absolutely no reason why this Alpine duo can't fight for the constructors this year. Bogorovsky, we've seen he's been hard to pass already today. And it looks like the safety car's about to come in, so we will join Ryan at the front. But yes, Bogorovsky, really tough to pass. And consistency, I think he's definitely got it in there. I think he can definitely have a good run at the constructors this year with his teammates. He's been working on his pace over pre-season, so I expect to see him up there. I'd like to see a podium from him here today. Let's see what he can do. And then we'll talk about the Haas team once this race gets going again. But Ryan, for the 3rd time today, will get the race going under the safety car conditions. Dopey man. Not sure he learnt from the first lap because he's now 6/10 behind him. Ryan has had a brilliant start and doesn't look like there's any overtaking opportunities down here. So Ryan with a great getaway, and he's just going to have to try and keep Dopey man behind him as long as possible. But Brandon is closing in. He is making a move on Gunther, but Gunther shuts the door. And we're going to see Brandon trying to make some moves. That we have, he has been tipped, as I've said, 2 or 3 times today. He's been tipped to be the drivers' champion this year, so he's going to want to get some moves done. Fair to say it's not been his strongest race today, but I'm not sure that's down to judgment. I think that might be a little bit of luck involved in the safety cars as well. And did really get hampered on that soft run that he had at the start. So Bogorovsky makes a move on Benny, and he likes making a move into that chicane, Bogorovsky. It's definitely a high risk manoeuvre, but he's got it done twice now, so fair play to you. Let's join Cav. Don't think we've seen much of him today. He's looking to make the overtake on Benny. Benny was the other driver that stayed out on the hards. He's going to try and make it as hard as possible for Cav to overtake, but you can just see the grip difference. Cav is having to wait on the throttle for Benny to get moving. And Dopey Man is making a move on Ryan. He's just dropped back, so let's stay with Cav and see if he can get this overtake done. And then we'll jump up the front with Dopey Man, who's made some inroads. But Brandon is closing in on a move again, but Gunter's going to shut the door again, and we can see the race, and there's a tap on Brandon. Oh no, it was on Skipper. Oh, that's so unfortunate for Skipper. He was a passenger in that. Looked like Gunter gave him a bit of a nudge, and really unfortunate for Skipper. He's had a really solid race up to that point. So let's see if he can get back up into those points. It's going to be hard work from there with only 6 laps to go. But Brandon gains from that. Cab looks like he's making a move. Bit of contact. Dangerous move into the chicane, and he wisely backs out. It's all about the run down here. He's just got to be patient. Benny is on the harder compound. He will be quicker. Got to make sure he gets the traction, but very good under braking. I think he gives Benny a bit of a tap on the way through, but a really important move. Good work from Cav. And I think Brandon's been overtaken by Nell. Brandon tries to hang it around the outside to gain this position back, and he does. And Gunter's also trying to get in on the action. A little bit of a tap there. But you can see the DRS advantage. Sorry, DRS isn't open yet, but the slipstream advantage. And, well, Gunter's tried to put it up the inside there and has gone into a spin. So, put his nose in there a little bit late. Don't think he was going to get that move done, but this is helping Brandon out. He's moving up the field. He's currently in 7th. He's got Benny to try and overtake on that hard compound, so again, just needs to be patient. He will be quicker out of the corner exits. And then we've got Nellboy again trying to have another look on Brandon. So let's stick with Nellboy because we'll be able to see Brandon from in front. Who is now making the move on Benny? Not quite going to get the move done. Benny has got some straight line speed in that Aston. And again, Nell wisely backs out. Brandon and Nell will be looking for a good exit, and Nellboy really takes a wide line to get a good exit. So the two soft runners are going at it now. And this is really playing into Benny's hand. But that's a great double move from Nell around the outside. But the Aston, he's parking his car so well. A bit of contact. Benny's tried to squeeze him, and Nell, and he's out the race. Cam has collected him on the way out. Oh, it's so unfortunate. It was good racing up to that point. There was a little bit of a squeeze from Benny, but Brandon has got through. Hims is now taking advantage, but I think there must be a virtual safety car. There is. In fact, it's a full safety car. Not surprised. It was a big accident. And until that final corner, it was some good hard racing. It was fair. But I think Benny might have just squeezed Nell out of road there. We'll see if the stewards have anything to say about it after the race. But I did tell you, start of the race, that Benny will be tough to overtake. So great defensive work to try and keep as many of those points as possible. But Ryan, must say he's had an absolutely storming race. He was a bit unfortunate with the spin after he had to pit. He was unfortunate with the first safety car. I think it got called just after he had cleared the pits. But he's made his way back out into the lead. So well done to him. He's got a little bit of work left to do because we know that these guys behind him are on soft tyres. But again, let's just quickly run through the field. So we've got Ryan in first, Dopey Man in second, who has also led this race. He decided under the, I think it was the third safety car, that he'd put the soft tyres on, as the rest of the field did, other than Ryan and Benny. So again, he's going to want to get the job done. They're coming around to pick up the safety car now. Little Mikey did say earlier that he'd be looking for that #1 spot in that Ferrari, and I think Reliot is going to have to accept that he could be #2 again this year if Lil Mikey gets this podium. So good moves from him. I think he started down in 10th, so he's up 7 places. Got Bogorovsky behind him with a 3-second penalty, so we'll see if Bogorovsky decides to fight it, because he will have to overtake him and get down the road. So he's not going to want to tangle up with little Mikey. He's going to want to try and protect the points he has. Having said that, he has got to protect himself from the drivers behind. He's going to have Brandon, who's been making moves up the field. And Cav, we've seen some good overtakes from him as well today. So it's going to be an interesting sprint to the line, really. And this is where these penalties start to come into their own. So these 3-second penalties that they've had for track limits, you get 2 warnings, and the 3rd warning then ends in a 3-second penalty. So Bogorovsky, Cav, they will need to get 3 seconds down the road from Brandon, which is going to be a tough job to do. Benny is the hard runner who decided to stay out, so his gamble didn't quite pay off. However, if he can stay within 3 seconds of those 2 in front, he will pick up a couple of places. So this safety car is helping him. And then he just has to keep up with them to try and nick those places based on penalties. Him with a 5-second penalty, so unless he pits, that will just be added to his race time at the end. So he has got a mountain to climb. Safety car is coming in, so he will join the front. Skipper looks like he's recovered from that spin early on. And Racing Ryan, for the 4th time this race, gets the race going on that corner again. And Dopey Man again, he has been caught napping. And there has been a spin, I think. No, I think it is. Oh, it is a spin. It is Brandon. He's in the pit wall. I missed what happened, but let's join the front. We'll catch him later. Cav looks like the closest man on track, who's looking at Bogorovsky. This is a straightforward fight for position because they've both got a 3-second penalty, but Cav and Barry will be very happy that Brandon has got involved with an incident, because I think he was the concern, and they would have been giving up a place to him, I think. So they'll be happy with that. So Cav and Bog will be fighting for 4th. Racing Ryan has already opened up that 2nd gap, and he's on hard tyres, so some really great pace from him out front. Benny, like I said, he'll be looking to keep within 3 seconds of these 2 in front to try and nick those places, but he's already 2 seconds behind. It's going to be a mountain for him, I think. But just needs to concentrate, keep it on track. He's got Gunter behind him. He's going to want to try and hold him up as long as possible. And we've already seen some good defensive driving from him. And I think wisely Gunter gets out of that. And again, Benny is parking his car perfectly to try and stop Gunter from getting through. But we are now down into the pit straight. Long straight. We've seen Benny is fast in a straight line earlier on. So he's going to try and use that to his advantage. I'm assuming he uses hers. Didn't get a very good exit out of that corner. Gunter with a much better exit. Needs the ERS power to get past. But like I said, Benny's rapid in a straight line. But Benny has run wide. But Gunter too early on the power and has spun it out of there. So that event is over. Skipper has recovered into 7th. Well done from him. We saw him spin earlier. So good recovery race from him. Let's just run back down to Cav, because he is starting to close on Bob. Didn't get the exit he needed out of there, really. So Bog has managed to put a bit of a gap. And again, Cav will hopefully, from his sake anyway, will look to try and close up into that final corner so he can make a move into the pit straight. Carries a lot of speed. Now it's about being cautious on the power, but enough to get a better exit. DRS is enabled. He won't get it here, but he's picking up the slipstream. Has he got enough to get it done this time? He looks a lot closer. Bog fakes the defence of the inside. Cav backs out. Will look to take it into turn 3. But I think he's just a little bit too far back on this occasion. He is. Just while they run through this sector, jump on board. And I will say again, Ryan has had a fantastic race. although he's been unfortunate with the first safety car, you know, he's battled back and he's taken those hard tyres and really stuck it to those soft runners. So well done, Ryan. If you just need to get around this last sector now, bring the car home, and that will be a well-deserved win for you. So let's just not have a commentator's curse, shall we? But he's also now got the barrier because Dopey Man has got a 3-second penalty. So little Mikey is going to want to try and get on with it and try and nick that second spot. But Bog's light is on. It is the last lap, so he is going to drain that as much as possible. Cav is going to have a sprint down to the line, but let's just join Ryan as he comes around the last corner. It's going to be a deserved winner here. He's worked hard for this one. Really good job from him on those hard tyres. Brilliant from him. Dopey Man, a worthy second place. He could also have been picked for winner today, but Racing Ryan deserves it. Mikey in third, great podium for him, and Bogorovsky gets it home in fourth. Well done from him. Cav tries to put up the pressure at the end and gives him a tap after the race. Benny, great race from you as well. Again, you took the punt on the hard tyre, and you got 6th place, so I think you gained out of that. So good work from you, Skipper. Very unfortunate actually to get a spin. I think he got a tap from Gunter into turn 3 a little bit earlier in the race. I think he could have really been challenging sort of that 4th and 5th spot, but reserve driver in this league. Very good race from you, Skipper. Gunter just needed a little bit more patience. He was making that position on Skipper, but just got a little bit too heavy on the throttle. I think he made a bit of a mistake in turn 2. I think we caught him just as he was going into a spin. So a little bit more composure from Gunter. He's definitely got the pace, and he can definitely make a run for the title. So Hims given driver of the day. I will give my driver of the day when we look back at the standings shortly. So McLaren, Ryan takes the race win. Very well deserved. And then the Red Bull of Dopey Man in second, Lil Mikey in third. Deserved podium today from all 3 of them. They raced hard. Mikey came from 10th. So good moves from him. But let's just quickly run back through the field. Racing Ryan, your winner. Very deserved winner. Dopey Man in the Red Bull in second. Lil Mikey in third with the Ferrari. We'll be hoping his teammate can actually support him next week, I think. Bogorovsky, good race from him. Good hard racing into fourth. Was hoping to see him on the podium, but maybe next week. Cav with some good hard racing there as well in fifth. Benny Buno, top defensive driver. Made it in sixth. Took the gamble on the hards after the safety car. I think it paid off for him. Skipper, bit of an unfortunate incident for him in the race, but again, good 7th place for him. Gunter, as we were saying just before the cutscene, just cut out the mistakes, and you've got the pace to be up there. Hims started from the back of the field, made his way up into 9th. Got to be happy with that return. Brandon, bit of a tough day. Don't think he did too much wrong. Not sure what happened under the last safety car, but bit of a tough day for him. Strategy didn't help him. Got involved in a bit of a spin. So again, Nellboy had some good moves throughout the race, but ended in 11th. Cam in 12th. Jordan, we're getting down into the DNF finishers here. We will be looking to make a bit more of an impression next time. So for now, that is the end of the race. And all I want to say is, if you do want to get into league racing, please get in touch with DTR. Be happy to have you here and racing competitively. So for now, until next week, goodbye.